everybody, welcome back to Chris's Tech Channel where we're going to talk about the final thing that was announced during the March 8th event, which is the biggest and most important thing to me, the Mac Studio. Talk about a bombshell. I was not expecting such a powerhouse to be announced. The Mac Studio was announced at the next desktop and also a new display that's separate. So let's get into it. Now, as you know, I have an orange iMac, and when that was announced, I was like, oh man, are you kidding me? I just got this iMac, and the Mac Studio sounds perfect for my future needs. But I'm perfectly happy with my iMac for now because until my needs require me to get a bigger and more powerful machine. But in my opinion, this is just a slimmed down version of the Mac Pro, which is still really cool. Pricey, but really cool. More on that later. Like the other product that was announced during this event, it will be available to buy March 18th, and you can pre-order now. They also announced a new display called Studio Display. More on that later. The thing I was excited to see was the fact that the front of the new Studio is that there are ports on the front of the drive, which will make using external drives, accessories, and SD cards so much more simple and easier to use rather than having a Google on the side of the machine. So now the back has 4 USB-C ports, an Ethernet port, 2 USB-A ports, HDMI port, and audio jack. Also, the power button in the back, just like the iMac, to give the body a nice, clean look, which is really cool. Now, before we go any further, there was another major development. As you know, from the prior announcement, they had made the M1 Mac chip for the latest version of the MacBook Pro. Well, guess what? They announced another new chip. I was like, what? There's another new chip called the M1 Ultra. Oh. Now, this is huge because what they did that I would not notice at once is that in the M1 Mac chip, there's a special connector on the end that allows you to connect a second M1 Mac chip and allowed it to connect. And then they called it the M1 Ultra. Really blew my mind. And it brought up the unified memory across the board big time, up to 128 gigabytes of memory. That's a lot. So for someone like me that likes the video edit, audio edit, and everything else, there should be absolutely no lag in rendering and other things like that. You have the option of setting up the Mac Studio with either the Mac or the Ultra version of the M1 chip, which even with the Mac, you still have a significant boost in power and performance across the board. Wow. Now, you can get an SSD up to 8 terabytes, but you have to really fork over a lot of money. I mean, buy money. So you could maybe decide to get a smaller one and then just get external drives and to keep the Mac healthy and free of space. Now, that's the other cool thing. It can support up to 5. You heard me right. 5 displays. Man, I want to be able to do that one day and have a ball with it. Talk about power. Whew. So no matter the configuration you get, your GPU and CPU will be top of the line and will be so fast for handling all of the tasks that you need to do with the machine. This machine also has a new way of thermal management to control how much heat it makes, to keep the machine cool. The enclosure is small, so you can leave it on your desk and it doesn't take up a lot of space, which is cool. But man, isn't it amazing how the technology is getting smaller and smaller and smaller? I mean, my goodness. Right now there's a ship that goes up to 4 terabytes for a PS5. That's just crazy. The ships, the material, it's just crazy. It gets smaller and smaller. It's awesome. I can't wait to see what the future brings. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, the port in front of the enclosure, depending on what the type of ship you get, you can either get 2 USB-C ports with Thunderbolt support, or just 2 basic USB-C ports. For the back, there are 4 USB-C ports and all have Thunderbolt 4 support, no matter the ship. So, really, really impressive machine. You should go to apple.com and see all the specs and play around with the settings of see what would you like to have for your needs and see the pricing there. I will say it already starts at $1,099. It's already super pricey. Whew. And you will see it go up a lot if you get the more powerful stuff. If it wasn't so pricey, I would have already ordered it. But it's too expensive right now. So I also want to mention that they made a new color scheme for the keyboard, mouse, and trackpad to make it match good with the Mac Studio. The silver with black. It's nice. It's cool. And it will obviously come with the Mac OS Monterey built-in already. Now, for the display, you do not need to get the Studio display in order to use the new Mac Studio. It was designed with that in mind, though. It can be used with any Mac too. So MacBook. This could as a second display if I wanted to. This monitor supports up to 5K, a 27 inches Retina display. It also has two-tone anti-reflective coating, nano texture glass, and it has a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera with sensor saves button like the iPad, which is really cool. But what's interesting, it's not at the top. It's actually at the bottom of the monitor, which makes it easier to look into when making videos, FaceTime calls, and stuff like that. It also is supported by its own chip, the Bionic A13 chip. Interesting. It has 6 speakers. I'll probably go definitely on that. And it supports spatial audio. So you will really get the full sound of whatever you're listening to for sure. And it has 3 mics built in. So that was interesting too. The back has 4 USB ports with 1 only supporting Thunderbolt. and it also comes with 2 sources and stand or a mount adapter. The tilt adjustable stand. The built-in stand gives you 30 degrees smooth effortless tilt, which is based on the description on the website. Tilt and height adjustable. The other one, the one before that, but the second one is like there. So it gives you 30 degrees tilt with 105 millimeters of height adjustment. So that's again from the site. And it also has a VESA mount adapter option. For custom setup, the VESA mount adapter supports up to landscape and portrait orientation. It is compatible with any 100 by 100 millimeter VESA wall mount, deck mount, stand, or articulating arm. This is also available on the 18th, starting at $1,599. Now, I would say you can possibly find other brand monitors that are just as good as the monitors that are not so expensive. I do know that if this was not so expensive, I would have already bought it. But I could get another ultra wide LG monitor that I have right now and buy it get a second one and have 2 long ones, and they'll be good. There's really no right and wrong to what each person wants in the stuff. It's based on what the puppets are, what they want, what they feel comfortable with. So that wraps up our March 8th event. Woo! That was a lot, right? Well, hopefully you like the fact that I broke it up into few videos to make it easier to see and watch in session and not all at once. So be sure to subscribe to continue to see my journey. Improving my skills at YouTubing and Final Cut Pro skills as well. Until next time, have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye.